At 63, I spent a night with a stranger at a beachside pension in Jeju Island. It was joyful and happy, and he took my number the next morning. I waited every day staring at my phone, crying and blaming myself, wondering if I had been too easy, if he had just been playing with me. But a week passed, then a month, and still no contact came. And 2 months later, the place where I met him again was truly unimaginable. Before the story begins, please subscribe and like, thank you. I'm Sunny, and I turned 63 this year. I taught children at elementary school for 35 years before retiring last year. I divorced my husband 15 years ago. And my 2 daughters each got married and became independent. The apartment where I live alone is clean, but it was too quiet. A year had passed since retirement, but I still couldn't adjust. I woke up every morning at 7 a.m., but I had nowhere to go. The days were too long, and the nights were too lonely. It was a Friday evening. I was drinking at a college reunion. Ladies, do you know about senior dating apps these days? The youngest, Kyung, asked as she pulled out her phone. Everyone's eyes widened. A dating app, at our age? I met a wonderful man last month through this. It's specifically for our age group, so it's safe. Everyone buzzed at Kyung's words. Half curious, half embarrassed. Oh come on, why would we use something like that? I waved it off, but a strange curiosity stirred somewhere in my heart. After retirement, I often felt disconnected from the world. That night, quite drunk, my friends, semi-forcibly installed an app called Silvermate on my phone. They even created my profile. Former teacher, 63 years old, hobbies are reading and cooking. Sunny, don't live alone too much, you only live once. My friend's words echoed in my ears. I came home, lay in bed, and looked at my phone. The app icon caught my eye. I was about to delete it. But just left it. A few days later, I got a call from my eldest daughter Jisoo, who works at a company. Mom, I'm sorry, but I think I have to cancel our Jeju Island trip this weekend. I have an urgent business trip at work. It was disappointing, but there was nothing I could do. The pension we had already booked was non-refundable. I thought for a moment. Should I go alone? It was my first summer after retirement, and I wanted to try something new. Early Saturday morning, I headed to Gimpo Airport. On the plane, I looked out the window and thought, how will this decision change my life? Jeju Island was full of the freshness of early summer. I unpacked at the pension and walked around the area. Around 5 p.m., I got hungry. I asked the pension owner, is there a good place to eat alone? Well, most restaurants around here require orders for at least 2 people. Especially black pork barbecue restaurants require a minimum of 2 servings. I was in a bind. But I couldn't just have instant noodles for dinner. I returned to my room and checked the delivery app. But delivery didn't reach this remote location. That's when it happened. My phone notification sounded. It was the Silvermate app. I still hadn't deleted it. I casually opened the app. Nearby users appeared. I was surprised that there were people using this app in Jeju Island too. As I scrolled down, a thought suddenly occurred to me. Maybe I could find someone to eat dinner with? It seemed like a crazy idea. But I was hungry, and loneliness was creeping in. I gathered courage and posted in the community. Is there anyone near Sogwipo in Jeju Island? Who wants to have black pork barbecue together? I'm traveling alone, but orders start at 2 servings. Looking for someone to share a comfortable meal with, each paying their own. After posting, regret washed over me. What am I doing right now? Just as I was about to delete it, A message came. Hello, I'm also traveling alone in Jeju. I wanted to eat black pork, but was hesitating. It would be nice if we could dine together. I checked the profile. BJ, 61 years old, architect. The man in the photo had dark gray hair and an intelligent impression. He looked dignified wearing rimmed glasses. With trembling hands, I sent a reply. How about meeting in front of Jeju Black Pork Barbecue at 6:30? Sounds good, I'll be wearing a navy shirt. I looked at the clock. 6 o'clock, 30 minutes left. I hurriedly touched up my makeup and changed clothes. I chose a white blouse and beige cotton pants. I looked in the mirror and told myself, it's just one meal, don't feel pressured. But my heart was already pounding. It was the first flutter I'd felt since retirement. I couldn't even remember the last time I felt this emotion. I arrived 10 minutes early in front of the restaurant. I left early because I was nervous. The sea breeze blew, and the sunset was beautiful. Looking around, I saw a man wearing a navy shirt. He seemed to have come early too. Our eyes met. Are you by any chance Sunny? His voice was gentle. His impression was much better than I expected. He was tall and had upright posture. He was more attractive in person than in his profile picture. Yes, are you BJ? Nice to meet you. He offered a handshake, and his hand was warm. His hands were rough, but the handshake was polite. We entered the restaurant together. We sat by the window, and we could see the ocean. The sunset was painting the horizon red. You said you're traveling alone, right? Do you come to Jeju Island often? It's not my first time, but it's my first time coming alone. I was supposed to come with my daughter, but something came up. I'm similar, I came for a seminar with colleagues. And decided to stay one more day alone after the schedule ended. The conversation flowed naturally. I thought it would be awkward, but it was comfortable. He listened well and asked appropriate questions. The black pork came out and he skillfully grilled the meat. I'll grill it, working in architecture has given me some hand skills. His consideration warmed my heart. We shared various stories while eating the meat. My story of teaching children for 35 years. His story unfolding the philosophy contained in architecture. I respect that you were a teacher. I also developed my dream of becoming an architect thanks to a mentor when I was young. I retired last year but still haven't adjusted. Every morning, I habitually start preparing to go to work and then pause. He made an empathetic expression at my honest confession. I've had a similar experience. When you live busily and suddenly, stop, emptiness rushes in. We discovered one commonality after another. We both liked classical music and enjoyed reading author Kim Hoon's works. Even our favorite movies overlapped. I really love Cinema Paradiso. Me too. I always get choked up at the last scene. After finishing the meal, he tried to pay. I objected. We agreed to pay separately. Still, thank you for giving me such a good time, I want to treat you. I felt his sincerity. In the end, I gratefully accepted. When we came outside, the sky was full of stars. Jeju's night sky was different from Seoul's. Even the Milky Way was visible. It's really beautiful. I exclaimed without realizing it. Shall we walk a bit? To help digest too. I nodded at his suggestion. I didn't want to say goodbye. We walked along the beach promenade. The sound of waves could be heard, and the wind was cool. At first we walked cautiously keeping distance, but gradually got closer. I was really lucky today meeting you, Sunny. My face grew hot at his words. It was the first flutter I'd felt since retirement. I didn't know I'd feel this emotion again after living 63 years. Me too, I almost ate instant noodles alone. We laughed. We sat on the sandy beach and watched the waves. The moonlight was coloring the ocean silver. Has it been long since your divorce? He asked carefully. It's been 15 years, after raising all the children. There was nothing left between my husband and me. How about you, BJ? I lost my wife 7 years ago, it was cancer. Sadness was tinged in his voice. I gently held his hand. It was meant as comfort. But he didn't let go of my hand. Holding hands, we sat like that for a long while. Words weren't necessary. We could feel each other's loneliness, and that alone was comforting. Sonny? He called my name. When I turned, his eyes were serious. Tonight feels like a dream. I felt the same way. My heart was pounding, and my whole body was trembling. It felt like the vitality I'd lost after retirement was returning. Time passed and it was past 10 p.m. The wind grew cold. I think you should go in now. Where's your accommodation? It's a pension 10 minutes away by car. I'll take you, I can't let you go alone at this late hour. He drove the rental car and took me to the pension. He stopped the car at the pension entrance. I had to get out, but I felt reluctant. Thank you so much for today, BJ. Likewise, I'm sad that I have to catch a flight to Seoul tomorrow morning. My heart sank at those words. That means we'd part tomorrow. I still hesitated to get out of the car. Would you like to have another cup of coffee? I have coffee beans in my room. I was surprised at the words that came out of my mouth. A 63-year-old woman inviting a strange man to her room. But I had no regrets. His eyes wavered. Are you really sure? Yes. It was a short answer but filled with certainty. We entered the room. It was a small studio, but had a nice view of the ocean. My hands trembled as I made coffee. He approached from behind. Sonny? His voice was close. When I turned, he was standing right in front of me. My heart felt like it would burst. I don't know if it's right to say this. He hesitated. Today was really special, I really like you. It was a confession. I'd never trembled like this in 63 years of living. Me too. I barely managed to utter those 2 words. And he slowly approached. His hand cupping my cheek was warm. When our lips touched, a thrill ran through my whole body. It was a soft and gentle kiss. Forgotten sensations awakened. That night we comforted each other's loneliness. Neither wrinkled skin nor gray hair was embarrassing. Rather, the traces of time made us more honest. Moonlight seeped through the window, and the sound of waves could be heard. His embrace was safe, and my heart was at peace. I didn't know how long it had been since I felt so deeply connected to someone. I'm happy. He whispered. Me too. The night deepened, but we didn't want to sleep. We talked, held each other, and made love again. As if it were the last time, as if wishing tomorrow wouldn't come. Around 3 a.m., I lay with his arm as a pillow and looked at the ceiling. I wish this moment could last forever. What are you thinking? I'm thinking this moment feels like a dream. Me too, I wish tomorrow morning wouldn't come. My heart ached at his words. We both knew that this might be the end, but for that moment, we decided to stop thinking like that. We just closed our eyes feeling each other's warmth. When the morning sunlight made me open my eyes, I looked to the side. BJ was sleeping peacefully. His sleeping face looked like a boy's. I quietly got up and went to the bathroom. My reflection in the mirror was unfamiliar. There was life in my eyes, and a smile lingered at my lips. It was an expression I hadn't seen since retirement. When I returned to the room, he was awake too. Good morning. An awkward silence flowed. It was the reality that came after last night's passion. Would you like coffee? Of course. We went out to the balcony together and looked at the ocean. The morning ocean had a different appearance. What time is your flight? 11:30. I looked at the clock, 9 o'clock, there wasn't much time left. Sunny, I'll shower first. BJ said carefully. I heard the sound of showering. 10 minutes later, he came out. I saw him hurriedly getting dressed. What about breakfast? I'll eat at the airport, time is really tight. My chest felt tight watching him hurriedly pack. Sunny? He held my hand. Could you give me your number? I really want to contact you. With trembling hands, I gave him my number. He saved it in his phone. I'll contact you definitely. I felt relieved at those words. Last night was really happy, I'll definitely contact you. Me too, be safe. He left through the door. He looked back once at the end of the corridor and waved. And then he disappeared. I closed the door and looked around the room. The bed still warm with his body heat, the coffee cups we'd drunk from together. Everything felt like a dream. I waited. Starting that evening, I didn't let go of my phone. My heart jumped every time a notification sounded. But his contact never came. One day passed. He must be busy, I consoled myself. 2 days passed. Anxiety rose slightly, but I endured it. On the third day, I checked my phone settings. Was it on silent? Were messages blocked? A week passed. My chest felt tight. Why isn't he contacting me? Every night I slept hugging my phone. 10 days passed. I called my friend Kyung. What does it mean when a man takes your number and doesn't contact you? Well, maybe he's not interested. My heart crumbled at those words. 2 weeks passed. I looked in the mirror and blamed myself. Was I too easy? Doing that on the first night. A 63-year-old woman with no judgment. Tears came. It was the first flutter I'd felt since retirement. The third week, I had no appetite. TV wasn't interesting, and when I read books, the content didn't register. I could only think of him. Why isn't he contacting me? Wasn't that night sincere? Was I the only one mistaken? A month passed. I couldn't tell my friends either. I was embarrassed. Being dumped after spending a night with a man I met through an app. I cried alone. I buried my face in the pillow and cried silently. Like a fool. Even at 63, how could I be so naive? Checking my phone every morning became a habit. Just in case. But it was only disappointment every time. A month and a half passed. I lost 3 kilograms. My daughter Jisoo worried. Mom, you seem to have gotten really thin lately. Is something wrong? No, I'm fine. It was a lie. I was not fine at all. Every night I recalled that night. His kiss, his whispers, his warm embrace. Everything had seemed so real. Was it a dream? Was I imagining it all alone? The second month. I decided to organize my feelings. I couldn't wait any longer. Let's forget now, let's just think of it as a fling at a travel destination. But it wasn't easy. The more I tried to forget, the clearer it became. And exactly 2 months later. It was a Saturday morning, 2 months and a week later. I got a call from my younger daughter Minji. Mom, come with me to a cultural center lecture today. It's called Architectural Humanities for the Second Act of Life. No, I'm fine. Mom, what's wrong with you lately? You've been staying home for 2 months, you don't look well, please come out. My daughter's earnest voice softened my heart. Truth is, I knew I shouldn't be cooped up at home like this. Okay, let's go together. I looked in the mirror while getting dressed. It was definitely a gaunt face. The worry that makeup couldn't cover lingered around my eyes. Okay, let's really forget now, let's try something new. The district office cultural center lecture hall was full of people. I sat in the front with Minji. At 10 a.m., the host came out. Today's lecture will be given by Professor BJ from Seoul National University's Department of Architecture. The moment I heard that name, my whole body froze. No way. No way. My hands trembled. My heart beat like crazy. The professor is an authority in architectural humanities, and recently has been receiving much love for lectures on designing seniors' second lives. A man walked onto the stage. It was BJ. The very person I met in Jeju Island. The person I waited for crying every night for 2 months. The world seemed to stop. I couldn't breathe. He saw me too. His hand reaching for the microphone stopped in midair. His face turned pale white. Hello. He started to speak but his voice trembled. He kept looking my way. Not a word of the lecture entered my ears. All my nerves were focused on him. Why? Why didn't you contact me? If you're a Seoul National University professor, couldn't you save my number? Did you just play with me? Anger, sadness, and longing mixed together. I felt like crying but held it in. Throughout the lecture, his eyes searched for me. They were anxious eyes. The 1-hour lecture ended. It was Q&A time. Mom, are you okay? Your face is so pale. Minji asked worriedly. Yes, I'm fine. But I was not fine at all. After the lecture ended, people began to leave one by one. Some went to the front to ask questions or exchange business cards. Minji, I'll just go to the bathroom. As I got up, someone grabbed my arm. It was BJ. Sunny? His voice trembled. Why? I asked coldly. The emotions built up over 2 months felt like they would burst out. Just a moment, can we talk for a moment? I have nothing to say. As I turned to leave, he grabbed my hand tightly. Please, it's a misunderstanding, I'll explain. I saw desperation in his eyes. Minji looked at us with a strange expression. Mom, do you know him? Yes. I'll just talk with him for a moment. We went outside. BJ led me to the end of the corridor. Sunny, I'm really sorry. When he spoke, the emotions I'd been holding burst out. 2 months. I waited every day for 2 months. I blamed myself thinking, what did I do wrong? Was I too easy, a 63-year-old woman? With no judgment doing that on the first night. Tears poured out. Sunny, please listen to me, please. He held my hand tightly. That morning, on the way to the airport, I got a call from my daughter. Your daughter. She said she'd been in a car accident. My breath stopped. I stopped the taxi and rushed straight to the hospital. His voice trembled. My daughter was in the emergency room, unconscious. So, I lost my phone, running around frantically at the hospital. I hadn't even saved your number. My heart ached. It took a week to get a new phone, and during that week, I couldn't leave my daughter's side for a moment. Is your daughter okay? She's recovered a lot now, but she was hospitalized for 2 months. He took out his phone. Look at this, I wrote it in my notes. On the screen was written Sunny, woman I met in Jeju Island. Former teacher, 63 years old, must find. Tears flowed again. I'd already deleted the app, I couldn't save your number. And there was no way to find you with just your name. Then? When my daughter woke up, she said something strange. He continued. Dad, find my teacher, Teacher Sunny. My heart felt like it stopped. What? My daughter's name is Eugen. Oh Eugen, that name swirled in my head. 15 years ago, she was a student in your last 6th grade class. The memory came back. A smart and kind child, a child who was growing up without a mother. A child who wrote me letters every day. Eugen was your daughter, BJ? Yes, she often talked about you, called you her life's benefactor. A thrill ran through my whole body. Even the day before the accident. She said she wanted to visit you, wondered where you were after retirement. So? I told Eugen, that I coincidentally met you, that you're a really good person, that I fell in love. My breath stopped at those words. Eugen was so happy, she asked me to let her visit you when she was discharged. So today, Eugen found out that you live in this neighborhood. By asking old classmates through social media. And? She found your name in the list of applicants for this cultural center course. She knew I was lecturing here, so she looked it up. Everything seemed like fate. Sunny? I looked for you for 2 months, I was going crazy. Even in my daughter's hospital room I only thought of you. Tears wouldn't stop. Every day without you was like hell, that night was sincere, even now. BJ. I love you, Sunny. He confessed. People around us stared, but I didn't care. Me too. I love you too. We embraced in the corridor. The longing built up over 2 months burst out. Mom? I heard Minji's voice from behind. Minji, let me introduce you, this is the person Mom loves. Minji was surprised but soon smiled. Mom, it's like a movie. That day the 3 of us went to a cafe. We shared all the stories. A week later, I met Eugen at the hospital. Teacher? Eugen in a wheelchair cried. Eugen, you've grown so much. Teacher, I missed you so much, I heard you're dating my dad? Is it really true? Yes, your dad is a really good person. Will you become my mom? At that question, BJ and I met eyes. I'll think about it slowly. But my heart was already decided. 3 months later, Eugen was completely healed and discharged. 6 months later, on Christmas Eve, BJ proposed. Sunny, will you marry me? Yes. We had our wedding the following spring. Both families gave their blessings. Eugen caught my bouquet. Mom, be happy. You too, my daughter. It was a new life found at 63. BJ and I went back to Jeju Island. We stayed at that same pension and reminisced about our first night. If you hadn't bravely suggested having coffee that time? I don't even want to think about it. We laughed. A year later, BJ and I opened an architectural humanities course together. It was a Second Life design program for seniors. Before starting lectures, we always told our story. At 63, I spent a night with a man I met through an app. Cried for 2 months without contact, and met him again like fate. People applauded. One Sunday afternoon, on the living room sofa with BJ, we looked at photos Eugen sent. They were photos with her boyfriend. Our daughter will be getting married soon too. Thanks to you, we became a happy family. It's thanks to you, BJ. He held my hand. Are you happy? I'm so happy. Love that began at 63. 2 months of misunderstanding and tears, and a fateful reunion. I learned that retirement wasn't the end but a new beginning. Today's story ends here. If anyone watched until the end, please leave a comment saying I watched it well. Your small interest gives me really great strength. Subscriptions and likes are all free. I ask for them once each. I'll come back with even better stories next time. Thank you.